Look what these fucking are.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Shit!
No, no.
Holy shit. It's him.
That's crazy shit. It's crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
Trying to get out. Now I suspect there's a big old coyote. Yeah, look at that. There's a big...
Stepping off the trail can instantly trigger a terrifying camping encounter. Some secrets are simply meant to stay buried in the dark. Between unearthing a hidden woodland cage and dodging security on a 1,000-foot crane, how far would you push your luck? This man was recording an exploration into a remote area of woods near East Jericho in Suffolk County, New York, featured on the channel Dateline 420, with a video uploaded on October 4th, 2016. What was supposed to be a simple walk quickly turned into an unsettling camping encounter in an isolated location.
With any sense of strategy or tactics, let's, because people can hide on the tops and throw things or shoot at you. Look what these are. What the is going on in here? And this isn't like woods I've never been to. I've actually been to the hospital getting stitches because of some of the adventures that I've had. These are all f***ing people. And they're all just, this is Utah, Florida. They're all different. They're all fucking different.
Deep in the woods, the explorer came across paths that had been intentionally blocked off. Nearby, there was a fire pit, and scattered around the area were missing persons posters, dozens of them from different years and states. Some dated back as far as 2006 and 2007, suggesting they had been there for a long time. As he continued forward, the scene became even more unsettling.
This one's from Georgia. And look at this shit. Like, look, what's this? What's this? This is some kind of oil filter, I think. So, like, anyway, I'll tell you the location is inside the dunes. You gotta go in and you gotta just keep going in, making, what did I do? How did I get here? And I just mostly followed the main trails. And then I kind of just kept making a left. This one's from South Carolina. Look, not only how many there are and the fact that we're in here, but trouble that somebody went through. Sorry, spiderwebs. My God, this is a dude. It's a dude, 26, last seen August 5th. Like, you had to stand in this shit. But like, somebody's standing in this shit.
He found a shovel, then a rough wooden structure, a handmade cage that had collapsed inward, built around what looked like a filled-in hole in the ground. Alone, unarmed, and deep in a secluded area, the situation quickly escalated. The narrator made it clear he felt uneasy about how dangerous the situation seemed.
The fire pit? That's a shovel. I don't even know if this shit is booby-trapped. They could be watching me right now. 21 years old, Santa Ana, California, missing 2006.
Although nearby residents later claimed the posters were only Halloween decorations, standing there in the woods, surrounded by signs of something deeply wrong, was enough for him to leave. Sometimes moments like this don't have clear answers, and even small details can feel wrong in ways you can't explain. If you found yourself in a camping encounter like this, would you stay to understand it, or leave before something changed? Imagine you're driving along a quiet forest road, and suddenly you notice someone standing off to the side, alone in the middle of nowhere. You slow down, you stop, you ask if they're okay. That's the normal thing to do. But the response you get isn't what you expected. That's exactly what happened to this man while he was heading home.
Just some cruisers, man. That's crazy shit. It's crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
The clip is short, and honestly, it's easy to understand why the person filming left right away. To be fair, most people probably would have done the same. The individual on camera appears completely disoriented, and the way he moves up the slope on all fours feels unnatural. Those movements are unsettling. Maybe he was under the influence, or going through something. The point is, when someone acts unpredictably, their behavior can change fast. And when you can't read it, keeping your distance is the safest move, especially in a late night camping encounter. If you were there, would you approach or leave? GG Uncharted is a channel where the creator records his explorations and often admits he does reckless things. And honestly, that shows in many of his trips. The video, uploaded on December 9th, 2025, follows one of those moments. He's explored a wide range of abandoned places. Some outings go smoothly, others don't, just like this one. This time, he set out to search for a World War II bunker he found on old, unclear maps. The bunker was said to be hidden in a forest on a mountain. Not an easy place to reach. The hike alone was difficult, with steep terrain and dense vegetation, and at one point it looked like he might be crossing land that wasn't exactly public. The clip isn't long, but it's enough to show that this trip doesn't begin smoothly.
I'm going to trespass on private property. My purpose here is that I'm going to find a lost World War II bunker. It's raining a little bit. I've been following this logging road for a while. There is where the bunker is. It's looking like the trenches of the Great War. Wasteland. Oh shit. Yeah, that's close. Holy shit. It's him. That was fucking close. Okay, that's him. He's coming back. That's not his truck. That was two other workers. I'm trying to film this real quick, because I don't know when this fucker's gonna come back.
After managing to stay out of sight from the people in the car, the real challenge begins. He has to climb, and one wrong move up there means it's no longer just a YouTube trip. The terrain becomes dangerous, and the path he chose is far from safe.
This was the worst way to do this. This sheath for my spear. If I fell on this, I'd die, man. Oh. Ow. I don't know where my sheath is. Okay, now we're risking it. I don't know if I can get up this. Oh my god. This might get precarious. Yo, I don't have a choice. I have to keep going. No, no. Oh my god. Hold on. Ah! My shoulder. Cramped hard. This whole thing's fucked. I don't remember which way. But it's a cliff. It's a fucking cliff. If I just say fuck it and go through the brambles, I can get out. The road's right up there. So what just happened was you probably just bore witness to my worst idea ever. Lord have mercy, I did not expect that. That was the worst thing that I've done in a long fucking time. I'm not gonna be able to find this bunker with just my phone as a fucking flashlight, man. I gotta turn back.
The trip ends as night falls, and honestly, maybe that's for the best. Sometimes pushing forward isn't bravery, it's unnecessary risk. It's a reminder that not every idea, no matter how exciting, is worth following through at any cost. The video cuts off right where you saw it. We don't see him getting back down, but since he continued posting afterward, we can assume he made it home safely. And knowing his style, there's a good chance we'll see him again. Sometimes moments like this don't go the way you expect, and small decisions can quietly decide how far things go. If you were in a camping encounter like this, would you keep pushing forward, or turn back before it got worse? Javier Castillo is a content creator from Mexico, and the person behind the channel Cazadores del Oeste, a channel that has built a large audience of people who enjoy the outdoors, and especially hunting, but not just any kind of hunting, because Javier focuses on animals that, realistically speaking, could just as easily hunt him back. In this video, he's accompanied by his two dogs, Chiquis and Coco, deep inside a forest that feels slightly unsettling even in broad daylight. They set out while the sun is still high, calm and confident, hoping they might come across a bear, maybe a mountain lion, or even a pack of coyotes. During the day, everything seems normal. The forest sounds natural, predictable, almost peaceful. But as the light begins to fade, the mood slowly shifts into a more uneasy camping encounter. The dogs begin to change behavior, reacting to faint sounds coming from deeper in the forest. The noises aren't loud or obvious, but they are enough to completely shift the atmosphere.
Coyotes.
Listo, ahora sí que empiece el show. También mi gente se me hace que me voy a poner una cámara aquí en el pecho. Pues no voy a poder sacar la cámara luego y grabar el animal si sale corriendo, si me ataca. Así que voy a tener una cámara en el pecho. Pero ahorita ando en un lugar extremo y necesito las dos manos. Come on.
After hearing a pack of coyotes, Javier and his dogs try to follow them. Convinced they are close, they move through the trees, stop to listen, change direction a few times, but nothing. The sounds fade as quickly as they appeared. He returns to his campsite, sets up his tent, and prepares to spend the night with Chiquis and Coco. But it isn't quiet. Several times the dogs wake him. Distant howls, footsteps in the leaves, branches snapping somewhere in the dark. Javier is prepared. He has his rifle and years of experience behind him, so he never seems truly afraid. And yet, the atmosphere carries a constant tension. The night passes without any direct encounter, and the hunt ends without a trophy. Sometimes nothing actually happens, but the feeling that something could is enough to change everything. If you were in a camping encounter like this, hearing those sounds in the dark, would you stay or leave before something revealed itself? Bo, known online as Aquachigger, runs a channel with more than 1 million subscribers. If you've seen his content before, you know he's always out looking for hidden pieces of the past, old coins, forgotten artifacts, and abandoned structures deep in the woods. Many of his adventures turn into unexpected camping encounter situations, especially when exploring remote areas where anything can happen without warning. In this clip, he's exploring a forest in Louisiana when he comes across an abandoned building. He recorded something on camera that he didn't even notice at the time. He only caught it later while editing. At the beginning of the video, he mentions hearing strange noises in the area, but since he's used to being alone in remote places, he shrugs it off. Still, the sounds are clearly picked up. At one point, he finds an object that honestly looks like something straight out of season 1 of True Detective.
Now, Loup-garou is like it's like a Cajun werewolf. That might be what we heard. Now, it could be somebody living in there and getting ready to capture us. See anything? Looking here, I'm seeing there's, oh, look, somebody lived back here. An old stove. I wonder what the, oh, look, voodoo. This is the trap for the humans. Right there. We could hear some tin moving. So there's something here trying to get out. Now I suspect there's a big old coyote. Yeah, look at that. There's a big, oh, that coyote was hanging around here for some reason. I don't think he can climb trees. See any up there? Known for many years, named Ray Basco. He's an old character. He's gonna tell you all about those loup-garous. If he hasn't turned into one yet.
You probably didn't notice anything at first, and that makes sense. It happens quickly. But after slowing the scene down, right as Bo steps inside, something appears to move in the window. It's subtle, but it's there. Just enough to make you stop and question it. Now add the footprints in the dirt that seem unusually large, and that brief shape behind the structure, and suddenly, it starts to feel like he might not have been alone out there. Realistically though, it could be anything. An animal, someone nearby who didn't want to be seen, or just a trick of light and motion that looks more dramatic on camera than it actually was. There's also the possibility it was staged. It wouldn't be the first time someone added a bit of mystery to make a video more engaging, especially in content built around camping encounter experiences. But there's no clear proof of that either, leaving the moment open to interpretation. If you were there, would you trust what you saw or assume it was nothing? Thailand Flow is another TikTok creator who usually uploads very normal content. Nothing intense, just everyday clips. But in one video recorded in Brindabella National Park, things feel different. What starts as a quiet trip slowly turns into a tense camping encounter. He was there with his dog Moose, and Moose begins acting unusual. At first it could be anything, a scent, a distant noise, typical forest behavior. But as night sets in, the atmosphere changes. The dog becomes more alert, and when a dog that's familiar with the outdoors reacts like that, it's hard not to feel like something might be wrong.
Without a doubt, the creepiest campsite we've been to. After arriving late to the campsite, it was very quiet, but for some reason, I just had the hairs standing up on the back of my neck, and the dog was constantly growling at different things. But just for some reason, this particular camp spot at this time of night just really put the wind up me.
It's pretty clear Moose noticed and sensed something in that darkness, and we get confirmation at the end when a pair of eyes reflects light between the trees. What was standing there remains unknown, but one thing stands out: the height of those eyes and the spacing between them. That wasn't something small moving through the brush. Whatever it was, it appeared large. And then there's that detail about the hair rising on the back of his neck. Was it just an animal? Most likely. But in total darkness, with your dog reacting like that, it doesn't feel small. This camping encounter leaves more questions than answers, especially when every detail seems to point to something nearby. If you were there, would you trust your instincts or convince yourself it was nothing? The following footage was shared on the YouTube channel Pipe 97 in August of 2025. In the video, the uploader, together with one of his friends, set out to free climb a roughly 1,000-foot construction crane rising above downtown Toronto. While not a traditional outdoor setting, the situation carries the same tension and unpredictability often seen in a high-risk camping encounter, where one wrong move can change everything. At the beginning of the video, they quietly entered the active construction site, carefully moving through dark, unfinished hallways and slipping behind concrete pillars as they searched for any route that would take them to the base of the crane. From the moment they stepped inside, they believed that workers or even security guards could be somewhere in the building, so they moved with extreme care, knowing that one mistake could get them caught before they even reached the crane. They kept their lights dim, stayed in shadowed corners, and avoided being seen as they went deeper into the structure. However, just as they thought they were getting close to a path upward, they suddenly heard voices nearby, confirming they were not alone.
It's open. Is there anyone? Okay.
Even though they weren't fully sure where the sounds were coming from, they still chose to continue and move toward the crane. Their patience and stealth eventually paid off, and by waiting for the right moments, they managed to slip past anyone inside the building and reach the crane base undetected. From there, they began the long climb upward, pulling themselves up ladder after ladder and stopping on narrow platforms to catch their breath as the city lights shrank beneath them. After a difficult descent, they finally reached the top, stepping onto the upper structure with the entire Toronto skyline spread out below. But the moment didn't last long. Before they could fully take in the view, they heard police sirens in the distance, forcing them to rush back down the crane and make a quick exit before authorities arrived.
Hold up. Is it for us? Have no idea.
Yeah. Don't make noise. Don't make noise. Don't make noise. Be careful. Very good.
Hey!
Once they made it out of the building and into the open air, adrenaline kept them moving. For a brief moment, it seemed like they were in the clear, until they realized they still had to get past the people guarding the site. As they crossed the lot, they ran past security, avoiding eye contact and moving as fast as possible before anyone could react. In the distance, sirens continued, but it was never completely clear whether they were responding to the climbers or something else happening in the city that night. Regardless, the two managed to do exactly what they set out to do: free climb a 1,000-foot crane in the middle of downtown Toronto and make it out safely. At that height, there's no room for error. A single slip, a wrong step, or an unexpected gust of wind can instantly turn the climb into a fatal fall. And even if they make it down safely, they are still trespassing. If you were in that situation, would you trust your control or realize how quickly it could go wrong? Joseph is a TikTok creator who doesn't upload very often, and most of his content is simple, wholesome clips with his son. Just everyday life. But among those videos, there's one that feels completely different. While he was working on a fence around his yard, a fence he says he felt the need to build, he ended up recording the exact reason why. And once you see it, it starts to make sense.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. Do you see her? Look at that face. It's right there staring at me. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
Honestly, this is one of those clips that stays with you. Not because it's dramatic, but because it feels real. What makes it more unsettling is the fact that Joseph has a young son, and seeing that woman crawling through the bushes just to look into their yard changes everything. At first, it's hard to clearly see what's happening, but once the image is zoomed in, it becomes obvious. The face and the way she stays low and hidden are difficult to ignore. Joseph also captured a still frame from another moment, which you can see here, and without overreacting, it really does give off those old witch folklore vibes, like something you'd hear in stories. Small details like movement, posture, and timing can turn an ordinary moment into something much more unsettling, especially in situations that feel like a camping encounter where awareness matters. When someone moves like that and stays hidden, it changes how you see the situation. So if you were in his place, would you ignore it or do something to protect your space? The next clip was found on Instagram, but it has been circulating across multiple platforms in different formats, so it may already feel familiar. It shows a mountain biker riding with friends along a dirt trail designed for speed, tight turns, fast climbs, pure adrenaline. This kind of trail usually feels isolated, but during a downhill section, as the rider comes in fast around a bend, a group of people suddenly appears ahead. Everything shifts within seconds, which is what makes this moment feel intense.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Shit! Stop! Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
Damn, bro.
Hey, what's that? Is everyone okay? Are you guys okay?
Get the dog.
It's okay. Did I hit the dog? Sorry, guys.
Where's my glasses at?
Here, I'll help you look for some stuff. I am all good. I crash all the time. I just want to make sure you guys are okay.
We're fine.
So, this isn't a legal trail. As you can see, there's no signs. It was made by bikers. If you do decide to hike up it, be careful. I should be careful too. I'm sorry. That's also on me. I hope, is he okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you need any?
One detail that stands out is the immediate apology, even though the situation was not entirely one-sided. At the same time, the trail had no markings, and the group had no way of knowing it was being used for high-speed downhill riding. To them, it likely seemed like just another path through the woods. Fortunately, the rider was able to slow down enough to avoid a direct collision. If contact had been made, the outcome could have involved serious injury or worse. The dog was unharmed, and a warning from behind helped prevent other riders from entering the same situation. When there are no clear signs, both sides rely only on instinct in the moment. So, in a situation like that, would it feel like an accident or something that could have been avoided? Jamie is a YouTuber who documents his rugged bikepacking and van camping experiences on his channel, often capturing real and unpredictable camping encounter moments that feel raw and unfiltered. Unlike many van life creators who present a more polished lifestyle, his content focuses on the real challenge of finding a safe place to park for the night in his Volkswagen Transporter, where even a simple camping encounter can quickly turn uneasy. In February 2025, Jamie uploaded a video from a solo trip he took to the Norfolk countryside on a misty, rainy evening. After discovering that his original campsite was blocked by no overnight parking signs, he was forced to drive around in the dark, searching for an alternative location. He eventually stops along a remote stretch of Peter's Way, an ancient Roman road known for its extreme isolation. As soon as he begins setting up his cooking area, the tone of the trip begins to shift.
Weird singing going on in those woods. I think I'm gonna cook my tea and fuck off.
Jamie mentions hearing unusual singing coming from deep within the woods. While most people might assume it was just the wind or an auditory illusion, he is visibly unsettled. Despite the strange sound, he attempts to ignore the feeling and continues preparing his meal. At one point, he even considers walking into the woods to find the source of the noise, a decision that could have escalated the camping encounter even further. But as the rhythmic sounds persist, he begins to worry that he may be approaching some kind of gathering or a group of people in the middle of nowhere. Although he initially tries to push through by opening the back of the van, the uneasy feeling becomes overwhelming, and he decides to lock himself inside. As he prepares to sleep, he realizes the singing was not the only thing he should have been concerned about in this camping encounter.
Just got out of the van to have a piss. What the fuck is that? There's a light in the bloody woods now. I'll tell you what, fuck this.
Coming to the conclusion that he is likely being watched by someone, or possibly more than one person, with a light source visible far from any nearby homes, he decides that staying overnight is no longer an option. He manages to leave the area safely. In that moment, would it be safer to stay and understand the situation, or leave before the camping encounter turns into something worse? The final clip in this compilation comes from a YouTube channel known as Coty. Nowadays it mainly shares music, but years earlier it uploaded a wide range of different content. The footage we're viewing was posted around 6 years ago, though it appears even older. That detail is only mentioned for context, as it clearly isn't something recent or produced using modern technology. In the video, we see what looks like some kind of animal. However, the title labels it as full video of a supposed skinwalker, which immediately shifts the interpretation into something far more uncertain and mysterious. We don't actually know what it is. It could simply be a case of mistaken identity, it could be staged, or it could just be an animal captured from an unusual angle. For a brief moment up close, it almost resembles a human figure lying on the ground, but the way it moves feels off. The crawl on all fours is quick, rigid, almost unnatural. After only a few movements, it slips behind a rock and that's all there is. No clear continuation, no alternate angle. The video quality doesn't help at all, and the fact that it's older footage makes it even more difficult to break down, and that's exactly why it lingers. There's just enough detail to trigger your imagination, but not enough to confirm anything. If a camping encounter like this left you with more questions than answers, would you trust what you saw or walk away before finding out more? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.